Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that ruled well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this little quick news update. It's been quite a bit of time since I touched on this here Venezuela stuff, But nevertheless, as time's been going by, Venezuela is the pot has been boiling more and more and more, From pretty much the last time I did an update on this, we was in the same spot where basically, you seen time progress, At first they was, trying to make a so-called a coup, the way that they normally would, with a so-called uprising and so on and so forth, over there in Venezuela. But, that didn't work out. So they had to, keep pushing. Now they got to the point to where, we at the end of the end of time, like the scriptures say in Revelation, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath, because he knows he have but a short time. The so-called white man know he has but a short time, and not to go too far into the whole Venezuela deal, I'll give you just a couple touches on that, The devil knowing he has but a short time, right? Esau Edom is the so-called devil, the so-called white man, right? Well, Esau Edom is the devil who is also the so-called white man, all right? But he knows he has but what? A short time in his heaven, or ruling over top of the earth, right? He's the one that's ruling over top of the earth. So he knows he has but a short time. Now let's take this out of the so-called religious talk, right? And bring this into a so-called carnal talk, right? The so-called white man, right? America is dominating the planet earth. He's about to so-called lose his, what he calls national security. It's not protecting the border. His national security, him protecting national security, means protecting the fact that he reigns supreme over everybody else. That's how he keeps his nation safe, by having everybody else in subjection. All right. So he see himself about the power shift is about to change, and he's about to be moved up out of power. All right. The time of his kingdom is up. He sees the time limit is up. All right. And now all the other nations, they realize that too. This is why they jockeying for position. They getting ready to see who about to get tagged in next. Right. But we all know, according to the scriptures, that the nation of Israel is going to be the next up, and we're going to rule forever. But nevertheless, like I said, in just a straight carnal talk, these other nations, everybody's jockeying for position because they see America's about to fall. And America is on its last leg. When that person is like, well, look, this is my last couple minutes in this thing anyway, so I'm about to just go ham while I got the chance to do so, and because I ain't going to get another chance at all, so I'm about to just do it all the most, So he's trying to conquer everything he can in these last moments. So he goes from Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi style, Oh, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. He's killing his own people. He's gassing the Kurds, or he's gassing, I think it was the Kurds. He's gassing so-and-so people. So we got to go over there and intervene. We got to stop him from these weapons of mass destruction. This was the way that America was, when George Bush was in office. This is how they was going around and assassinating and killing other nations' leaders, But now, today, in today's terms, as of late 2018, mid 2018, all the way up until now, you have with the Donald Trump administration, and he didn't even come in like this, But nevertheless, now he's in that office, and he's in that, pretty much in that seat, to where it's like, all right, now, it's time for overdrive. The devil come down to you having great wrath. He got a short time, so we got to move with everything we got to move with. We don't have time to go over there and stage a coup attempt, with all the propaganda with the people, which they still doing that anyway, but that's just a long way of doing things, Nevertheless, they just openly on the news now, and I don't think ever in history that they was ever on the news openly talking about going around and killing somebody, like how I would say somebody so-called important. All right. I believe in my history, the first time that I can think of somebody like that would have been like Osama bin Laden. Right. This isn't just like a regular person just walking around that the police just so happened to kill. Right. This was pretty much somebody that all of America was looking for. Right. But in a sense, this was still not a so-called sovereign leader of a nation, how you would say, not even to say a democratically elected, but somebody who was empowered by their own people, right? Osama bin Laden wasn't a leader of a nation. Now we're into the forefront now, again, where you have Saddam Hussein was taken out of power, Muammar Gaddafi, and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, they was taken out of power in the sense of, they had a weapons of mass destruction or whatever. They had a lot. Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, they to the point now where it's like on TV, we gonna openly assassinate him. We openly looking to assassinate him. That's what they openly saying. You know, you seen the drone attacks that was on him where they tried to openly on live TV. They tried to assassinate him by bombing him with drones, you know? And this is the doing of America, all right? This is what America does, you know? The devil has come down to you having great wrath because he know he has but a short time. So he just straight mask off with it. So, but nevertheless, going back a little bit further into why we here where we at now with Venezuela, all right? America had then hijacked Venezuela back in the day, all right? Wound up losing control over it. Well, they hijacked, what they want is the resources, the oil, right? More importantly, they want the minds of the people, all right? So that it'd be easier for them to get the oil, all right? But nevertheless, they want the oil over there. So you have Nicolas Maduro, all right, the elected president over there, wound up basically taking power back from these Edomites, the so-called white man. You have to wonder why the so-called white man care about Venezuela. You see what I'm saying? Like, not, I'm gonna just make a messed up statement because we know Venezuela is not a shitty country, nor is it a poor country, right? But in the eyes of America, it's like, why would we be wasting our time with some shitty country over there anyway? You see what I'm saying? Unless that shitty country got something that's very valuable, which is the oil and the gold. All right, America's trying to take every damn thing. All right, so they wanted to get their hand back in that cookie jar for the oil. Now, forget about Venezuela for a minute and think about the rest of the world. You got, America's about to go into what? World War III. All right, with Russia, so on and so forth. So all these other nations you see, they all, again, they jockeying for position. Russia's getting his allies together and arming its allies with weaponry and so on and so forth. China is also gathering up allies as well. Now they working with Russia as well, but they're gathering up allies and supporting them with financial backing. All right, Russia's got them on the military side. China's got them on the financial side. You see what I'm saying? And so now they're trying to basically set up a system with America outside of that picture. Again, they all jockeying for position. All right, but nevertheless, these different nations, they all are gearing up for World War III, and they're about to take away the petrodollar, which is how America makes pretty much all of its money. All right, America don't have to do anything with oil at all. They don't have to be an oil bearing country. They don't have to sell oil. They don't have to buy oil. They don't have to do shit with oil because of, it's just like when you go to the store, right, and you pay taxes, right? Let's say you go to the store, you go to the 7-Eleven and you buy a Coca-Cola, right? Now, your transaction, the business that you're doing is between you yourself, all right, Coca-Cola and the 7-Eleven establishment, all right? Because you wanted a product from Coca-Cola, which is the soda, all right? Now, 7-Eleven is the vendor who sells the soda, so you're doing business with them, all right? You got to pay Coca-Cola for their product. You also have to pay 7-Eleven for housing the product, in which Coca-Cola has incorporated that in the price, right? So you're paying 7-Eleven for doing business in there. And you're also paying Coca-Cola for the product that you want, right? However, when you get to the register, you also have to pay a third person or another person, which is who? Taxes, Uncle Sam. Now, Uncle Sam didn't do shit to produce the Coca-Cola, nor did he store the Coca-Cola in his store and pay the employees to conduct that transaction. So he had no hand in the Coke, but at the end of the day, he's still reaping benefits off the Coca-Cola, off the Pepsi, off of the gasoline, everything that's in there. You see what I'm saying? He's going to have his hand in the cookie jar because why? He put tax on everything. So therefore, the government or the IRS, they don't have to be in the Coca-Cola business. They don't have to be in the 7-Eleven business, and they don't have to be in the advertisement business to get you to buy Coca-Cola for them to reap the benefits off of that transaction. The same way with this here petrodollar. All right. Again, America being the IRS, right? Or in this analogy, America being the IRS, they're not producing oil. They do produce oil, but in this scenario, they're not producing oil. They're not selling oil. They're not buying oil. They're not doing anything with this. But every time somebody else, another country, let's say Russia is selling Germany some oil, which America is not in, none of that shit has nothing to do with none of that. America still is they have to transfer their money into what? The American dollar, which is the petrodollar. You go into your wallet, look at any American currency. That's what they call the petrodollar. They need to get these dollars to be able to purchase this here oil, which means America's getting a cut. So again, they're trying to cut America out of this here picture. So what? They're trying to recreate a whole new system without America. All right. Now, put that in mind, which is leading up to World War III. The reason they're trying to cut America out of the picture, jockeying for position, who's going to get the next rulership. All right. So now you at the stage of World War III. You got Russia and its allies versus America, right? Now you got this huge ass war that's about to take place with all this equipment, tanks, jets, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, you can have the world's biggest military with the most equipment on the planet Earth, the most sophisticated shit on the planet Earth. But if you don't have the fuel to fuel up these vehicles, they're useless. It's just like having the world's largest manned army, like the most soldiers on the ground, but you can't feed them. You see what I'm saying? If you can't feed them, you can't pay them, they're not really useful to you. They just a bunch of bodies, really. You see what I'm saying? So what is America gonna do in World War III when it's like America versus everybody else and they can't keep now? Basically, the person who wins the war is the person who has either unlimited resources or more resources than the other side. All right. If you know what I'm saying? If me and you having a shootout, right, and you got a gun with 10 bullets in there and I got a gun with 100 rounds, I can sit there and let you just keep shooting. All I got to do is make sure that you don't hit me with your 10 shots. And then after that, I can just dump on you all day long because I got unlimited reloads. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to wind up winning the war. You see, I got way more resources. All right. But nevertheless, going into this situation, America knows that it's about to go into World War III. It's about to lose its petrodollar. All right. Venezuela geographically is very close to us. So they trying to do what? Take all of the resources back from over there because they're losing the petrodollar and they're losing their way of trading oil. So their plan is what? All right. Well, we was going to assassinate Nicolas Maduro, but we all know how that happened. What happens when that happens? There's a vacuum that happens. So they're like, well, fuck it. We'll go ahead and install our puppet now. Right. So they have this guy, Juan Guaido. All right. Who America is backing to going to be the president. All right. So they had another election over there. Nicolas Maduro won that election as well. All right. Now, this Juan Guaido was not on the election ballot, nor was he voted for. This guy received 0 official votes from nobody. Nobody voted for him. All right. But nevertheless, after the elections was over, Nicolas Maduro won. All right. Juan Guaido wound up self-proclaiming himself as the president. All right. So that's the same. Just imagine here in America, you got Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton running for president. You know, most Americans don't like either one of them. However, Donald Trump won the presidency. Now, just imagine if, you know, for you so-called white people who don't like Barack Obama or whatever, whatnot, because you think he's a so-called black man. Imagine if he would have just be like, you know what? Fuck Donald Trump. I'm going to be the president. Or what if, let me think of somebody here that most people don't fucking like here in America. Anybody that most people don't like here in America. Just whatever celebrity that Kanye West, right? Let's say Kanye West just say, you know, between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump won the elections, right? Kanye West is going on stage say, you know what? I'm the president of the United States now. Fuck Donald Trump. I'm the president, right? Where would we be right now? You see what I'm saying? What if Osama bin Laden came over here and said he was the president? What if Vladimir Putin came over here and just said he was president? You see what I'm saying? North Korea, Kim Jong-un came over here and just said, you know what? Fuck America. Fuck the Americans. Fuck what they want. I'm the president now. You see what I'm saying? And then a whole nother country, let's say North Korea, let's just say North Korea or Bashar al-Assad from Syria came over to America, declared himself as the president. All right. And then Russia said, you know what? We're going to back America. We're going to back Bashar al-Assad as being the president. All right. And if anybody want to talk shit, we're going to just bomb on y'all. The American people would be in outrage. We would be calling for the American military to go full-fledged war because that's not what the so-called American people wanted. Right. But that's where we at now in Venezuela. Long story short, you have this guy, Juan Guaido, who self-proclaimed as the president over there. All right. And America is backing them. And another thing they're doing is they have the sanctions still on Venezuela. But now with the oil deal. All right. They're saying that, look, you can sell oil, but the money is going to go back to who? America's going to wind up making sure that Juan Guaido gets the money. Just start funding and backing their so-called puppet. All right. Because the military is still under Maduro's lead and everything is still up under Maduro's power. All right. Because he's a legitimate president. But nevertheless, America's trying to they are setting up a puppet, Juan Guaido, their own person who looked like Barack Obama. They didn't put him over there, claimed him as president immediately after. They was the first and only people saying that we recognize him as the president. And they urged other countries to do so as well under the penalty of what? Some kind of threat. Oh, we're going to put some shit on y'all if y'all don't recognize this too. Trying to get everybody to believe in your lie. All right. To cut out Nicolas Maduro. This is your plan. You trying to get everybody else into the what works with you. All right. But nevertheless, you know, what they doing with the oil is, all right, well, they going to sell the oil. but the money gonna come back and we're gonna give it to Juan Guaido to finance him. All right, we're not gonna give this to Nicolas Maduro, who's in control of the government, which means the people ain't gonna get none of this, which at the end of the day is gonna turn into the people getting mad and having an uprising. At the end of the day, America's gonna get what they want. You see what I'm saying? They putting one group against another group. They creating these damn groups and, hey, making them go out at war. All right. So that's just the backdrop of, pretty much the whole Venezuela deal up until today, where we at now. This is why this shit is just like, you hear people talk about this and it's just fucking crazy. Not to mention, all right, Donald Trump is trying to, he ain't openly saying, but, between the lines, they sending troops down there. All right. Now they also have troops in Colombia and, where is it? Colombia and I want to say Brazil or something like that. But nevertheless, I know that there's in Colombia, they have quite a bit of troops out there on the border. All right. Now, there's another story about Russia, all right, that flew some of his bombers and some other planes over to Venezuela, landed in Caracas, all right. And, they're going to head back over here. That was one of the things in the news. Oh, Russia's flying some of their warplanes over here, so on, some of their bombers and this is that. They're so close to America in the uproar. But what people aren't realizing is they are preparing for war. All right. Russia flew some planes over there. All right. For, now this isn't officially being said on the mainstream media news because, again, you have the propaganda going out. But nevertheless, in other news outsource outlooks, they're saying that they went over there and they was taking, I forgot the amount of gold, but they was taking like maybe a ton or two of gold from Venezuela back over to Russia, all right, for Nicolas Maduro, all right, because what? He sees what's about to happen. He sees that he's the next Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and Bashar al-Assad. Now, not Bashar al-Assad. The one thing that you can learn from Bashar al-Assad was, hey, link up with Russia. You might save your damn life for a while, But nevertheless, those planes that landed over there was reportedly to be taking gold from Venezuela over to Russia. All right. Now, when you go into the Bank of England, they're hoarding and holding a lot of the gold, a lot of Venezuela's gold. All right. Which is owned by Venezuela. All right. But they won't let Nicolas Maduro get it because they say that he's not a legitimate president. All right. Again, what are all these signs looking at when you put all these signs together? Oh, they're taking away Maduro's gold and they're not letting him get his money in. They're setting up their own president over there and they're financing that dude. OK, and now Maduro is having to take his gold and his assets to go over to Russia to hide out. What do you think the next step is going to be? A full on invasion and a war over there, just like what happened over in Iraq. All right. They had to try to get all their stuff out. When you go back to I believe Desert Storm or whatever it was, type in YouTube or Google the Highway of Death. All right. That was when they told they gave Saddam Hussein, I believe, 24 hours to leave. And they wound up, gathering up in a caravan and so on and so forth and trying to leave. And they wound up bombing up all of that caravan. And then they did it again in when they went and invaded over there, where they was trying to take out tons and tons and tons of gold out of or not gold. It was money. They was taking tons and tons and tons of money up out of the banks over in Iraq. All right. This is where if you knew anybody that was in the war over there in Iraq, if you had any friends, like I had a couple friends after school went over there, and they would come back with like what we would think of as hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in Iraqi money. They was selling like, yo, I'll sell you $10,000 for $10, a stack of money. Because why? They was going over there hoarding it. You can look that up on YouTube as well about some of the military men getting caught stealing money. But nevertheless, they was transporting money. Saddam was transporting his money so that he could have a way out, because he knew he was about to get invaded. We on the same cups right now today. All right. So let's get into this here article. Just had to give you a backdrop on all that. Let's get into this here article. We're going to grab a couple of scriptures. It says open white supremacist Trump and the KKK extremists in the White House attack Venezuela Maduro. All right. Now, a lot of our people over here in America, well, a lot of Americans and a lot of people over in Venezuela, Colombia and places like that, they're under this, they drinking this here Babylon juice. So they're under the impression that Maduro is so bad and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, this is what's really going on. Like the Bible say, you can judge a tree by its fruits. Just look at the fruits, man. All right. This says there's a racist dimension to Washington ongoing campaign in Venezuela. Since the U.S. is currently led by an openly white supremacist president and similar-minded extremists, said the country's embattled leader. And yeah, he is a white supremacist. Donald Trump out of his own mouth, you can look this up on YouTube, said that he's a nationalist, talking about, and what and he's not talking about for America. He's talking about what? so-called white America, for his so-called nation of people. All right. It says it's a political war of the United States empire, which it is an empire. It's a political war of the United States empire of the interest of the extreme right that today is governed of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, they might be saying that jokingly, like, oh yeah, they act just like the KKK. But in reality, a lot of the Klan members, from when they was walking around wearing these hoods, it was a huge amount of them. All right, where did they go? They didn't just disappear off the face of the earth. No, they wound up getting police officer jobs, political jobs, and governance, and all these types of things. All right, this is where these Ku Klux Klan members are. So in reality, they are in the governance seats. All right, it says of the Ku Klux Klan that ruled the White House to take over Venezuela, President Nicolas Maduro told the BBC, the U.S. government is the apparent driving force behind Venezuela's parliament speaker, Juan Guaido, who last month declared himself acting president and its incumbent head of state usurper, Salakia. But nevertheless, again, it says who last month declared himself acting president. All right. Now imagine if anybody in America decided to declare themselves as the president and like went forth with that. You know what I'm saying? Just some random person, not just like me saying, yo, I'm the president and whoop-de-whoop. But somebody for real be like, yo, I'm the president and I got me a little militia. We finna go up in the White House. Like, yo, Donald Trump, you got to move, bro. You not the president no more. America don't like you. I proclaim myself as the president. We rolling up in the White House. Fuck you and the couch you rolled in on. You see what I'm saying? So come on, man. Just put this in reality. It says, Washington rushed to recognize Guaido as the rightful leader of the Latin American country, and hand over control of Venezuela assets seized in the U.S. So this is how the coup is going to start, with the uprising of the people. America and these Edomites, along with the Bank of England, they have a lot of these assets, and they frozen assets in Venezuela, money and things like that, control, sanctions over all these things, which in turn, this is where all the poverty is coming from in Venezuela, where you hear about all the people is poor and they hungry, super inflation. All this is done because of the sanctions that's put on Venezuela by America, all right, and America's allies. However, let me go back up. It says Washington rushed to recognize Guaido as the rightful leader in the Latin American country and hand over control of Venezuelan assets seized in the U.S. So now all this gold, all this money, all the things that so-called crippling the economy in Venezuela is about to be handed over to this guy who just self-proclaimed himself as the president. All right. America's puppet, the one that they set up, the one that they openly backing. All right. They're giving it to this guy. Now, what do you think the civilians of the place is going to do? They're going to be like, wait a minute. You know, what seems to us is that, yeah, with Nicolas Maduro as the president, economics is super bad, but they're not understanding that America is making all that super bad for them. All right. Now, when they realize that America is giving all these resources back to Juan Guaido, and he's got all the money. Yeah, we got the oil. I don't know why y'all poor. We got the money over here. I told you I'm the president. What do you think the people are going to do? You see what I'm saying? They're going to go to where the food is. They're going to just be brainwashed by these Americans. All right. It says the unceremonious approach to the regime change attempt is indicative of how Venezuelans are perceived in Washington. Maduro said, they hate us. They belittle us because they only believe in their own interests and the interests of the United States. That's exactly what I just explained. They don't care about the Venezuelan people. First of all, they're the ones causing the people to starve out anyway. But the people are going to be so brainwashed in the propaganda over there that when they see Guaido getting all the goods and the money and stuff, they're going to run over to him and they're going to look at Maduro as the bad guy, not realizing it was America who put Maduro in the bad place anyway by sanctioning everything and hoarding and holding all of their stuff. All right. And they're not going to realize that it's America that's propping up this here puppet government and giving him the resources for a short amount of time, which they're not giving him the resources. They're giving y'all the illusion that he has the resources. America, the goal for America is to not release or relinquish the control over these resources. So at the end of the day, just know America's going to wind up with these resources. Whether it's Juan Guaido or whoever the fuck they put in the office, America's still going to have control over the resources. All right. It says the dismissive attitude is not reserved for the country only, for his country only, because the U.S. is ruled by people of extreme white nationalist views. He said President Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Maduro agreed when asked by the reporter. And hey, we see that, you know, they make statements like, if you're not with us, you with the terrorists, or if you're not with us, you with the enemy. If you're not with us, you against us. Well, what if the shit that you're doing is evil, man? The shit that you're doing over here in the country, you over here hijacking the country, holding them for ransom, all right, and starving people out, all right, and then lying to them in their face, and then getting other people to enact with it, all right. It says Maduro appealed to the public around the world to denounce U.S. sanctions as possible. Slovakia. Maduro appealed to the public around the world to denounce U.S. sanctions and possible military intervention in Venezuela. So, hey, look, he already knows what's about to come. They're about to just invade his country, all right? Wake up, open your eyes and see. This is an aggression against a peaceful country, he said. Exactly. Look at the two different countries in the conflict here, all right? Venezuela is just trying to feed their own people over there and get up on their own and take care of their own shit. But America and Venezuela ain't at war with nobody. They're not bombing nobody or no shit like that. But America is what? Bombing other people, threatening other people, toppling regimes, all right, disrupting whole nations and creating poverty amongst the whole planet Earth. Look at the whole Middle East now, all right? They didn't really have much of shit to begin with, but now look at it now. You see what I'm saying? They damn dirt and they rocks is all fucked up over there. That was like, you know, oh, look at our stone, this and this, you know, all that shit's all fucked up over there now, all right? Just look at the fruits that America is producing, all right? It says, if you really want to help Venezuela, you will support peace. Say no to the intervention. Tell the U.S. hands off Venezuela and support Venezuela and its own effort to resolve its own problems through dialogue. And what's wrong with that? That's the most sane thing to do. Let a country handle their own business. All right. That's just like me having my own house, my wife and my family, my kids and whatever, whatnot. And you next door trying to come over here telling me what I should be feeding my family or what my kids should be wearing and this and that, you know. And I'm not talking in no simple way like, yo, you shouldn't be feeding your family poison. That's poisonous. We're not talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if I choose to have chicken for dinner tonight and my neighbor like, nah, y'all should be eating steak. Like, wait a minute. Worry about what's going on in your house. This is my house. This is my family, my wife and my kids. I pay for this food. I pay for these groceries, whatever, whatnot. This is what I choose to do. Worry about what's going on in your house. All right. The Venezuelan president also reiterated that part of the economic hardship that his country has experienced can be explained with crippling U.S. sanctions. So exactly, it's all America's fault, which Washington has been rampant up against his government for years. Now, if you just think this is propaganda, it's written down in law. You can look this up, the sanctions against Venezuela from America. All right, go look up what they have on them and look up what the sanctions that Venezuela has on America. Venezuela ain't stopping Americans from eating. Nothing that Venezuela is doing is stopping, starving, or hurting none of the American people here in America. However, there's things that that the American government is doing that is stopping, harming, and preventing, starving out, and killing not just the Venezuelan people, but people around the rest of the world. All right, look at Cuba. Cuba's been that way because of why? What America's been doing. All right, Haiti, Puerto Rico, the Middle East, like Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, all these places is like that because of what America's doing. All right. It says Venezuela remains in the balance with Maduro and Guaido fighting over loyalties at home and recognition from foreign nations, while many of U.S. allies in Latin America and elsewhere follow the lead to recognize the self-proclaimed president. Countries like Russia and China express support of Maduro's government in an attempt of national dialogue. Like I said, they're preparing for war. Inside Venezuela, the military are the main focus for both sides at the moment, since their decisions may make or break Guaido's attempt to seize power without major bloodshed or direct military aggression by foreign powers. So look, the plan is, and there's that dude kind of look like the damn Hispanic version of Barack Obama. But so basically what they're saying is, look, if, you know, the military right now is under Nicolas Maduro. However, if the military was to go under Guaido, everything will be all cool. Maduro can't do shit. He'll just have to fade out because Guaido could just take the military and come down on Maduro. However, Maduro has the military, and if he wanted to, he can come down on Guaido, but that's just not the type of person that's not the way they running shit over there. All right, which in my eyes, he got the right. This is a outside spy basically coming in to usurp your power. Put that man in death, man. But nevertheless, you know, this is the problem here. Once America can get the military behind Guaido, all right, again, he can just oust Maduro. But if that don't happen, then they got to send in, you know, an outside military force to fight against the Venezuelan military and the Venezuelan leader, all right, to take them out and install their own puppet, all right? Now, I'm going to grab just a couple scriptures. I didn't want to go too long on that, but, you know, this is an update back in the backdrop of Venezuela, you know? just to show you, hey, this is the damn devil, man. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come. It will not tarry. And now we've been going in on why we call you the damn devil. All right. And all these all these prophecies in the scriptures. All right. But nevertheless, all these prophecies is coming to pass, man. You know, though it might tarry, you might, World War III, couple years, going back a couple years, and let's say the beast hating the whore. We starting to see that now, but maybe 2 or 3 years ago we couldn't see that. So it was tarrying, but yet it's still coming to pass as we see today. All right. But nevertheless, we getting up into this here World War III. All right. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right. The so-called white man, his soul is lifted up in him. He's proud. All right. He want to do whatever he want to do, Verse 5, yea, because he transgresses by wine. Now this wine, which we'll get further into, is basically his doctrines and philosophies, more or less to say, all right, let's just use it as the metaphor it was. It's like alcohol, right? If me and you, let's say, because this is some real examples, right? Let's say it's me and some chick, right? And now I'm taking this chick out and I'm about to go get this chick smashed, get her drunk, right? I'm about to get her all fucked up drunk, right? She's so damn drunk, she don't know what's really going on. Now I could take her back to the house and I could take advantage of her because she drunk. She gonna make some decisions that she wouldn't make in her sober mind, right? So I might ask her, hey, shit, you want to go drive? You drunk as fuck. You want to drive? She might say, hell yeah, I want to drive. You know what I'm saying? Now she gonna go out, start driving. I'm taking advantage of her intoxicated mind, right? Making her do things she wouldn't normally want to do, or take advantage of her. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say for, and we're not gonna use that analogy because people already use that against us. But nevertheless, you get the picture. People get other people drunk and take advantage of them, or drug people and take advantage of them, right? But this isn't talking about an alcoholic wine here. This is talking about his so-called philosophies and his doctrines and stuff. Just like the Juan Guaido. That's one of their wines that they trying to force down the throats of these the Venezuelan citizens and the rest of these nations, America's allies. Nah. Guaido is the president. You should back him. You should back him. Not letting everybody else know, these other countries who's involving themselves into America's business so that America can reap the benefits off of it. These other countries that's backing America is not going to reap none of the benefits from this here deal. It's only going to be America. Once America get that damn oil, if we was to go up far off into the future, America would be charging the same ass allies, you know what I'm saying, for the damn oil. They wouldn't be getting no cut for it, even though they helped get it. All right. It says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine. All right. His doctrines and philosophies. Look, we're going to set up Guaido. We're going to make sure he get all the stuff, so on and so forth. Telling the Venezuelan people, look, Maduro is the problem for all your situations over here. He's the reason y'all poor, so on and so forth. Guaido is the real president. You should be supporting him. Well, where's the wine and all of that? The wine and all of that that's getting you drunk is, first of all, everything is bad under the rulership of Maduro, not because of Maduro. It's because of, first of all, it's the so-called white man and his sanctions that's causing all of that. Maduro just so happened to be in let's say in the driver's seat, right? Let's say Maduro's driving the bus. I believe he actually came as a bus driver. He was a bus driver, but nevertheless, let's say Maduro is driving the bus, right? And somebody else is speeding and drinking and driving and slamming to the bus, right? Now you ride on the bus and you be like, oh, we got into an accident on the bus. Well, yeah, Maduro was driving the bus when the bus got into the accident, but he wasn't the cause of the accident. Somebody else, some outside force ran into him, which caused you to feel the effect while you was under his so-called leadership. He was driving the bus. He was on the bus. He was injured while riding on the bus that he was driving. However, he wasn't the cause of that. Some outside force caused that. All right. Which would be the Americans. All right. This is that damn, that wine that he's getting everybody drunk with. All right. Habakkuk 2:5, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and his death cannot be satisfied. All right. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. He can't keep himself at home. Like America got oil. America be selling and trading in oil from their own shit, but yet and still they want to get everybody else's stuff to dominate the whole planet Earth. All right. He neither keep it at home. He's in every other country right now. He about to start a war in Venezuela, still in Syria, so-called supposed to be pulling out of Syria, still in Afghanistan fighting a war, still in Iraq fighting a war. All right. And then provoking and trying to start a war in North Korea. All right. Still and provoking and trying to start a war with Russia and China. All right. in the South China Sea, with over there with Russia as well. All right, and then you got you bickering back and forth with Macron and the EU and all of that. So look, man, you trying to start war on all different sides, man. You don't keep it home, you in everybody else's house, and you like death and hell. You can't be satisfied. You just like, yo, war on each side, bro. Continuing on in verse 5, it says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right. Hey, that's look at it here in America. He's sitting on top of everybody here in America, but not just that. He go to every damn country, all right, and trying to gather all people up under him, all right, all these different nations, all right. Venezuela is not necessarily controlled by America directly. They controlled by America through the sanctions, but not directly, all right. That's why they're trying to get that puppet over there. They trying to take basically they man, all right, and put him up over there, all right. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that's what you see going on the national scene right now. All right. Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, like, yo, man, what the fuck is y'all doing? Stay in your house. Get your hand out of my cookie jar. You see what I'm saying? Vladimir Putin is like, yo, man, why the fuck we got to come from way on this side of the planet Earth way to that side of the planet Earth just to make sure that your bitch ass don't be over here taking everybody else's shit. You over here trying to creep up and take their stuff, man. And we see what you're doing, man. We got to come all the way on the other side of the planet just to watch your ass because you like to steal every damn thing, man. All right. And that's what all these other nations is doing. It's like, yo, man, America is a madman. All right. Verse 7. Now, let me go back up. It says, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right. Now, you also gathering yourself up all this damn debt. You know what I'm saying? All this debt that you're doing and so on and so forth just to so-called steal all these other countries. And which the so-called white man, that plan ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? He's so-called going into so much debt to steal all these other countries. Because why? He know he ain't got to pay it back at the end of the day. As long as he accomplishes his mission and enslave everybody else, who the fuck is he going to pay it back to? You see what I'm saying? And plus he's creating the money. But nevertheless, he going to want the restitution. He going to vomit everything back up. All right. Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, and the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And so it's going to be a point in time with all these other, what you see already happening now, where all these nations are going to get sick and tired of America just stealing all these different nations and all their resources and dominating the planet Earth, where they're going to just be like, you know what? Fuck it, we got to band together and just take this motherfucker out. That's exactly what you see going on. Russia stepped up when America was like, yo, we calling everybody to back Juan Guaido as the president. Basically get on our side as we about to wage war over here. Russia was like, we ain't having that. We going to be the first to stand up over there and we going to guard them. You see what I'm saying? And hey, that's how it's going to roll out. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth a evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Okay. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and hast sinned against thy soul. So as an example I always give to this is like, yo, you want to be a dope boy, but you staying at your mama house. Your mama who works so hard to put food on the table. She do everything legit, right? Working all extra hard, but you want to start selling dope up out of her house. Now the police and her car. So now the police then caught your ass. They're going to repossess her car. They're going to take her car, seize the house, and seize everything. Now your mama in jail and lost everything and so on and so forth. Now your mama was playing everything by the rules, playing by the book, doing everything she was supposed to be so-called doing. But because of, because of your wickedness, you wound up getting her messed up. She lost everything. All right. And that's a wicked thing to do. All right. You need to take responsibilities for your own things instead of getting everybody else caught up in the shit that you got going on. All right. But nevertheless, it's the same thing here. The so-called white man, the elites of the white man. All right. They wind up what? Not just taking the Israelites in captivity and taking everybody else in captivity. But, as they go on today, these elites, these higher ups is going around bombing other countries and stealing other countries and so on and so forth. All right. But what? Yes, they did it. They the ones that's guilty of this. They the ones that should be punished for this. But guess what? Even the lowest of the low, little Becky in the trailer park, little Tommy, you know what I'm saying? Little homeless Tommy down the block or whatever, whatnot. They ass is going to be missile food too. They guilty as charged right along with the elites. You know what I'm saying? The little homeless bum, that's begging for change, is living on Skid Row, shooting up heroin and shit. He going to get the same penalty as the Rothschilds. All right. Well, they probably not going to get the same judgment. One of them would probably die in famine and nuclear missiles and whatever, whatnot. But the elites, they're going to wind up going into slavery. But nevertheless, they still going to wind up getting that guilty verdict. All right. Even if you're a low level Edomite, you still getting the same thing. So, you know what I'm saying? You wind up consulting the shame into your whole house. Every last one of you Edomites is guilty as charged because of what your so-called elites did. All right. But nevertheless, it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, to his whole nation. All right. So that you want something, you desire something that's evil. All right. You desire to do something that's evil that you can wind up catching a judgment for. All right. Let me read that again. Woe to him that coveteth the evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. All right. And stealing all these damn lands and enslaving the whole damn planet Earth. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and hast sinned against thy soul. So out of all the rape, robbing, and murdering you've been doing on the planet Earth, the elites, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, like what we say, the so-called white man is the devil. We don't say that the elites is the devil. No, all y'all is the damn devil. Even the ones that was just born today. You a little devil too, man. Are y'all all gonna grow up to be the same damn devil? All right. Some of y'all is way more wicked than the other ones, but y'all all the damn devil. All right. But nevertheless, you all gonna catch this here judgment. All right. Verse 11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth the town on blood and establish a city by iniquity. All right. Exactly. You over here trying to establish Venezuela in blood and iniquity. All right. And we can talk about all the other lands too. You bombing the hell out of them, trying to so-called bring democracy and peace and humanitarian aids, but it come in the form of bombs. You see what I'm saying? Hey, but the scriptures has got you carved out to the T. Woe to him that buildeth the city on blood and established a city by iniquity. Behold, is it not Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for their very vanities? All right. So look, well, let me go down to verse 15. Woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him that maketh him drunken, so that he may also look on their nakedness. Now the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof, and he also gave them all this here wine and made them all drunk. So let me grab that real quick. I didn't want this to be that long, but hey, it's time to be revealing all this stuff. All right. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore which sitteth upon many waters. All right. Now, let me jump down to verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. This is verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So this is the great city which reigning over the kings of the earth. What place on the planet Earth is ruling over all the other kings of the earth, or all the other leaders of all the other nations of the earth? What one country is able to put sanctions on all the other nations on the planet Earth? That would be America. All right. So this is Babylon the Great. All right. Mystery Babylon. All right. So it says, verse 2. Now this is talking about that great whore, Mystery Babylon, America. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornications. All right. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk of the wine of her fornications. All right. So it's not saying that they was actually having sex, but they was basically, oh, you was down there fucking around with old boy, wasn't you? You know what I'm saying? Oh, didn't I tell you stop fucking around with them niggas down the block? They ain't gonna do nothing but cause you trouble. You hanging out with them. You buying all the shit that they selling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, they say they this and that and so on and so forth. Bruh, stop fucking with them people, man. Y'all over there, hey, stop fucking with them. I'm telling you, they ain't got no good with you, but you want to keep fucking with them. The same thing here. All right, the great whore is fornicating with all the kings of the earth. Well, what? All right, let me go to Revelation 18:3. It says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Again, going back to being drunk and this here fornication and putting a bottle up to one's mouth. This is not necessarily talking about drinking liquor, but it's the perfect analogy, right? So imagine, this is the analogy, right? You hanging out with somebody who is everybody know this is the neighborhood drunk. He always drunk and always lying about everything. But see, he didn't convince you that he finna sell you a bridge out there in Brooklyn, right? Now you coming back to me like, yo, hey, cuz, man, homeboy down the street said he got this bridge he finna sell me in Brooklyn for $10. Like, yo, and I'm like, bruh, stop fucking with him, bruh. He got you twisted, bruh. You over there believing his shit because you want to fuck with him. Not saying y'all literally having sex, but because you, like Jake said, y'all fucking with each other, right? You want to deal with him. You doing dealings with him, right? You drinking of his same ass wine, right? Not his real wine. Yes, he is a real alcoholic and he really drunk right now. But you buying it because he drunk in his mind. He's speaking out of his drunken mind, just saying some bullshit. But because you buying his bullshit, you may as well be literally drunk right along with his ass. You see what I'm saying? So just like Jake would say, like, bruh, why are you always fucking with him? Don't you know he a drunkard? You know, don't you know he an alcoholic? He always drunk, just telling all kind of bullshit lies. But if you want to believe that shit, go ahead and go buy that bridge for $10 and go show that bitch off and go try to collect on that. People look at you as just as drunk as him. All right. So this is basically the analogy. Revelation 18:3. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornications, and the kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right. So again, with like they doctrines and stuff. Hey man, so again, America is basically that drunk dude down the block that's always trying to sell everybody the damn bridge for $10. But these other nations are the dumbass person that's walking around believing that shit, right? So they wind up taking what, IMF loans or certain types of things. We can handle this problem for you, but you got to so-called take this here loan. Look at Greece. Look at Puerto Rico. Look at Venezuela. Look at all these different countries. All right. But then America wound up saying, oh, well, you know, if we'll take care of this for you, but you got to allow us to do this. Well, you can do this, but you got to do this for us. Basically, America wound up taking all their resources. All right. So this is how Americans wound up putting it that their bottle to these people's mouth, and they drink and they tell them, look, we'll provide for you. We'll give you money. We'll give you protection, so on and so forth. You know, just let us help you out in a certain way. Just like in Syria, you know, they blew up all that shit in Syria, like a lot of the oil fields and all that stuff in Iraq and Syria and all that stuff. For what reason? To go back over there and rebuild all the infrastructure, so they own all the infrastructure. All right, yeah, we'll rebuild all your shit. Don't worry that we blew it all up. We'll rebuild it. We'll pay for it all. Yeah, we'll take care of you. And so you drinking from that alcohol. Okay, cool. Yeah, these motherfuckers blew up all our shit, but they said they're gonna rebuild it, and they're gonna rebuild it brand new, nicer than what we had, and so on and so forth. We're gonna be on after that. Well, you got to be just as drunk as the motherfucker selling you the dream, not knowing that, yeah, he gonna rebuild it. He's gonna rebuild it way nicer than what you had and spend more money on it, but he gonna keep it for himself. He gonna be cut out. He gonna be like, nah, nigga, I built this shit. You didn't put in on this, all right? This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquities, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance, and I will render unto her a recompense. Still talking about Babylon the Great, America. Now I read that to say this, because, you know, this is talking to our people, and not talking about physically getting up out of there, but mentally. Get up out of that mind state. You know, again, I've seen some of our people, some Colombians and stuff like that was living out there in Colombia, talking about how Maduro's such a bad person and this and that and so on and so forth. Now this person lives in America now. All right. And it's been drinking Babylon juice the whole time. Like, yo, you don't realize what's really going on because you just got to America. You think America's the golden city and everything is good here. And they the angels on the earth. But yet you deceived and drinking on all that and you hanging on to America's coattail. But what you need to get up out of America, my people, basically, like mentally, spiritually. All right. Like how we are right now. Yes, I'm physically here in America, but yo, we not partaking in none of this American shit. We not on that bandwagon. We not so-called patriots. Yeah, fuck that. America first. Or American pride, go military, whatever. We not like that shit. No, we against that shit. All right, because we know this is evil. All right, but you know that's speaking to our people. You know, get up out this here mind state. All right, dealing with here in America. But jumping down to verse 7, Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. So we just read about that. All right, in Revelations, that golden cup. All right, that golden city. All right, making everybody drunk from drinking out of their damn golden cup. All right, it says Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. All right, so if all the earth was drunk, let me just keep reading. It says the nations have drunken of her wine. So if all the nations have drunk of her wine, which is her philosophies, her bullshit, and her lies, IMF loans, and so on and so forth. All right, if they all drunken of this, who is in control? Who is in a position to be able to do all this? It's America. America is the head of all these different things. All right. All these different leagues and everything like that. Like America trying to form an Arab NATO. Like, well, it's going to be NATO, but for the Arabs. But who's going to be controlling that shit? Whose agenda are they going to be fulfilling? The so-called white man, the Americans, these Edomites. All right. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, and therefore the nations are mad. All right. And so, you know, they basically going into this sense now, like, yo, man, we got to do something about America, man. America's straight tripping. They straight tripping, man. We got to get up out of her tentacles or whatever, whatnot, because we just trapped over here. All right. But nevertheless, I'm going to bring out one more scripture. I know this was quite long. I'm going to bring out one more. We're going to close out there. Revelation 13 and 15, speaking about America. It says, and had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's exactly what's going on. If you don't want to go in, basically the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. If you don't want to follow after that rulership under the so-called white man, all right, your ass is going to get put to death. All right. And that's exactly what you see going on right now with the, matter of fact, let me grab this as well. Salakia. That's what you see going on with Venezuela and all these other countries. Let me just get to that. This is Matthew 24 and 6. It says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Then many shall be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. And because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached unto all the world, for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. Now, I just read a lot more of that, you know, just giving you also time frames, because you're looking at all this stuff. All this is happening right now. But also, you know, we've always been hearing about the wars and the rumors of wars and things like that, you know. But nevertheless, as we about to gear back up into getting into this, World War III. But these are all signs of the things that's coming into the end of the world, all right? So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I know it was a really long lesson, but Lord willing, this lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.